Hey everybody, Marc Gilday here. I'm responsible personally for over $200 million of insurance business. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to understand who your perfect prospects for what you're selling truly are. Now, before we begin, a lot of people want to learn how to generate leads and prospects and convert those leads into insurance sales. If that's the case, I got a new book you should check out, The Insurance Selling System Never Fails. For a few bucks, you can download a digital copy at insurancesalescontrol.com/book, or you can get it on Amazon for like $20-something plus shipping and have to wait for that hard copy. Anyway, let's get back to the subject at hand, and that is understanding how to identify who your perfect prospects really are. Now, I wanted to get on and talk about this because so many of you are asking questions about the business in itself. So how I generate my prospects, or how I understand who my prospects are very simple. I take a look at what I'm selling. And it could be any type of insurance or product or service. But, for example, let's just talk about final expense life, right? So if we're talking about final expense insurance, who would be your perfect prospect? Well, you may have more than one. So, the first one may be somebody who's about to retire. A man who's been working and he's now in his 50s, late 50s, early 60s, and he's going to retire in a year or so. And this person knows that if he leaves his company, he's probably not going to have the coverage that he has. And if something happens, he doesn't want his family to be stressed or have to worry about figuring out how to pay for that, whatever happens. So he is going to do some planning, and in that planning, he's going to have to probably replace his insurance policy in the group because it's going to be so inflated in price, and it's just not going to be right for him. So that's one example of a perfect prospect for final expense. But there are others. So let's say another prospect type would be a widow or widower of a person who didn't really take action and do anything when they knew they were going to leave the employer. So they left their employer. They found that the group coverage was so expensive they couldn't afford it, so they just let it drop, figuring, we'll take care of it however. And the spouse died, and the widow, she had to take care of everything and used a big chunk of her life savings, the money that she was going to have to use for retirement, to pay for his funeral, so they wouldn't have the embarrassment of literally having him buried in a sack, which unfortunately happens. That's another example of a perfect prospect for that final expense. You take a look at it again, it may be the child or children of a couple that understand that their parents are getting older and they want to make sure everything's all set. So they want to look into that planning aspect and a policy to cover those final expenses, whatever they may be. And that's another perfect prospect for that type of insurance. Now, the reason I gave you those three types is I want you to understand that your prospects, you may have more than one ideal prospect for the type of insurance that you're selling. But I want you to take a look at the different types of prospects. And I want you to try to identify the most lucrative, the one who's going to have the most money, the most ability to spend the money, not because I want you to be greedy and get the most out of it, but I want you to be true to your business and your bottom line and your family. Because I learned over the years that it literally is going to take as much work, sometimes more, to deal with something that's going to make you $50 or $100 than it will to make you several thousands of dollars. So my point is this: it's your responsibility to not only help your clients, but help clients that make sense and maximize your bottom line for your family and your future. So I look at my perfect prospects twofold. One, what is the product or service going to do for them? And two, what am I going to get as a return if in fact we sell it? Because you don't want to be spending 40 hours working on something that's going to be giving you maybe $50 and end up in a chargeback because they couldn't afford it. Then it would working with somebody for a few hours, getting a few $1,000s, and then having that policy in place for years, helping them, and in turn helping yourself and your bottom line. If you'd like to learn more about selling insurance, again, go ahead, check out my book, The Insurance Selling System That Never Fails. Talks about how to identify your perfect prospect, and more importantly, how to create a message that attracts your perfect prospects for you. So go ahead and check it out at insurancesalescontrol.com/book. And please let me know what your big takeaways were in this video in the comments section below. And if you like the video, make sure you give that like button a thump in the head, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.